Hare Krishna. So when Maharaj Parikshit, he put forward questions to Shukdev Goswami of what a man should hear, what a man should chant, what a man should remember, and what worship should he do and should he not do. So Shukdev Goswami started replying to those questions because those questions were glorious and that were supposed to benefit not only Parikshit but also to not only the assembled people there but also the whole humankind. So he also said that the answer to answers to these questions is one, and that is the prime subject matter of hearing, and it is approved by all the transcendentalists. So what is that? So before actually coming to this point where Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj are discussing, there was something which happened before also in my life of Maharaj Parikshit. Once Parikshit Maharaj, along with the queens of Dwarka, he went, and Vajranab, they all went to Kusum Sarovar to meet Uddhav. And there they performed Prem Nam Sankirtan. And while performing Sankirtan, Uddhavji manifested from the creepers. And when Uddhavji appeared there, they were very pleased. Uddhavji greeted everybody. He greeted Parikshit, he greeted Vajranab, he greeted everyone. And then they all inquired from Uddhava about Srimad Bhagavatam. And Uddhavji, he decided that he will recite the entire Srimad Bhagavatam for one complete month. So Uddhavji recited the whole Srimad Bhagavatam in 30 days to the queens of Dwarka and also to Vajranab. And when he was about to start the narration, he requested Maharaj Parikshit that Parikshit, I request you that you please go now from here. And you take care of this Kali Yuga, because this Kali Yuga has started showing its influence. So go and subdue this Kali Yuga. So Parikshit Maharaj was shocked. He said, you are sending me from hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Everybody here is going to hear and I am going to remain bereft of hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Uddhavji said that, do not worry. In the last 7 days of your life, by the arrangement of the Lord, Shukdev Goswami is going to narrate the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, which I am going to narrate here in the 1 month. He is going to give you in 7 days. So for right now, you go and take care of the Kali Yuga so that I can narrate Srimad Bhagavatam. So Parikshit Maharaj very well knew when he got the curse what he has to do. So he started walking on the banks of river Ganges, and there he met Shukdev Goswami. And Shukdev Goswami, after hearing the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, he began replying. He said that, he further clarified that that people who are materially engrossed and who are blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, they waste their life. And he said that one who is free, one who desires to be free from the material entanglement must hear, must glorify, and must remember the transcendental pastimes of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Because that is the goal of life. How to serve Srimad Bhagavatam is by hearing them, by reading them, and by speaking about it. That is the way of serving Srimad Bhagavatam. So, the highest perfection of human life can be attained simply by taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because this knowledge is not an ordinary knowledge. People in the material world, sometimes even the devotees, they think that this knowledge and the Gyanis, the knowledge which the Gyanis have is the same. No, this is a transcendental knowledge about Krishna. It's different from ordinary knowledge. So, and this knowledge is an anga of bhakti. This transcendental knowledge is the anga of, this is not an ordinary thing, this is relation to Krishna. So, Parikshit Maharaj inquired about what has to be done. So, Shukdev Goswami is telling that one who gives full attention and respect to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam achieves unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is very important that we pay full attention and respect to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. It is very, very important. We take this as if one should not take this as one of the rituals. No, this is not one of the rituals. Srimad Bhagavatam can grant pure unalloyed love. It can clear all the doubts. It can completely nullify the effects of karma in our life, and it can grant us prema bhakti. So it is not an ordinary book. It is not an ordinary subject matter to be discussed. So, one should constantly chant the holy name of the Lord and His name, His fame, His pastimes and everything. So, Shukdev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit, they were discussing this. And there are so many questions that Maharaj Parikshit was putting forward. Now, the Parikshit Maharaj asked how and where the mind has to be applied, dear Gurudev, and how the conception can be fixed so that dirty things can be removed from the mind. Now, all the contamination is in our mind. So, how can we remove that contamination? We see that even while chanting or even while performing so many other services, there is a lot of contamination which comes across in our mind. So, that contamination is because of our entanglement or our connection with this material world. Because all the contaminations from the birth after birth is carried forward in the mind only. So how can this mind be purified? So Shukdev Goswami, he is saying that by controlling the sitting posture, regulating the breathing process, controlling the mind and senses, and with the intelligence apply the mind to the gross potency of the Lord Virat Rupa. So in the second canto, there are so many different processes explained by Shukdev Goswami. Not just devotional service is the topmost, he explains that. But before that, he also talks about Ashtanga Yoga, he talks about different processes also. In the end, he glorifies Bhakti Yoga. So here, he's saying that with intelligence apply the mind to the gross potencies of the Lord Virat Rupa. This is the personal body of the Absolute Truth. And then he describes about the Virat Rupa starting from the toe of the Lord up to the topmost hair of the Supreme Lord. So he told Parikshit Maharaj that how one can absorb himself in thinking of the Virat form of the Lord. Now, yesterday Prabhu asked this question about the characteristics of the Supreme, of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, we need to understand that what are the characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam. We know the characteristics of Supreme Lord, but what are the characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam? So the characteristics of the Srimad Bhagavatam and the characteristics of the Supreme Lord, both are the same. Both are eternal, both of knowledge, full of knowledge, and both are full of bliss. And one should know that whatever transcendental sweet words which come out from the mouths of pure devotees is Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is not just limited to the 18,000 verses, or Srimad Bhagavatam is not just limited to the conversation between Shukdev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. Srimad Bhagavatam is not just limited to the conversation between Maitreya and Vidura, or Rahugan and Jadabharat, or Vishnudutas or Yamadutas. No, Srimad Bhagavatam is much beyond that. So, what is the characteristic of Srimad Bhagavatam? It is both. It is Krishna and characteristic of Krishna and characteristic of Srimad Bhagavatam both the same. So one should know that whatever transcendental sweet words which comes out from the lips of a pure devotee is Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam consists of knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam consists of realized knowledge and the four limbs of devotional service such as the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. And it is expert. Srimad Bhagavatam is expert in eradicating the influence of Maya. When one hears transcendental Leelas of the Lord, the Krishna Katha of the Lord, it is powerful, it is so powerful, Krishna Katha is so powerful that it can eradicate the influence of Maya in our life. One should understand that Krishna's name, Krishna's fame, Krishna's pastimes are very, very powerful. When one hears that, through the ears, one hears that, that transcendental nectarian words, they enter the heart and they cleanse the hearts of the devotees who are hearing that. Krishna himself cleanses the heart of those devotees. So, it is expert, Srimad Bhagavatam is expert in eradicating the influence of Maya. So, who can understand the, now one can question who can understand the authenticity of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is unlimited sound representation of the Lord. So, we need to understand that Srimad Bhagavatam is written by whom? It is written by Vedavyasji. Who is he? He is incarnation of the Supreme Lord himself. Krishna himself, he has come as Vedavyas and he writes this Srimad Bhagavatam. In previous yugas also Vedavyas is there, but thus that Vedavyas is an ordinary person, is a Jivatma. This Vedavyas is Krishna himself who has come and written Srimad Bhagavatam. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very great. And it has 18,000 verses and it is the only shelter. It is the only shelter for those who are captured by the crocodile of Kali. You know crocodile? It catches someone. So Kali Yuga is like crocodile. And it has caught hold of each one of us. So to escape from this crocodile of Kali, Srimad Bhagavatam is the only solution. One should know that there are two types of listeners. Superior listeners and inferior listeners. This is not in the Bhagavatam, but it is the glories of Bhagavatam. So I don't know if in future, in our further sessions, I'll be able to devote time to this. So let me cover this subject matter here. So the superior listeners are of 4 types. Listen very carefully. Chataka, swan, parrot, and fish. There are 4 kinds of superior listeners. And there are inferior listeners also. There are 4 kinds of inferior listeners. Those are like wolf, people who are like wolf, people who are like Burunda bird, people who are like bull, and people who are like camel. So now let's try to understand each one of them. Chataka bird. Chataka bird. Some of them are like Chataka. They listen like Chataka. So what is a Chataka? Chataka does not take water from any source. It only takes water from the rain cloud. So one who does not hear any other scripture or book other than those related to Krishna is called a Chataka bird. So there are devotees who would like to exclusively hear only of Krishna. So those are like Chatakas. Devotees are compared to Chataka in many places in Srimad Bhagavatam and by so many acharyas, commentaries and so many different Vaishnava acharyas have compared devotees to Chataka. Now then comes the second category is the swan. Swan-like devotees. So just like the swan can extract milk from a mixture of milk and water, so one who can extract the essential topics of Lord Krishna while listening to the various topics is called a swan listener. So swan has a capacity of extracting milk from the water. Similarly, sometimes there are people who speak on various subject matters, but there are speakers who can extract the essentials from this. Sometimes devotees often complain that, oh, this devotee doesn't speak like this, doesn't speak in a very nice way or that way, this way. No, we should respect whoever is speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. And one should become like a swan who can extract the essential things from that Srimad Bhagavatam, from that subject matter. Then there are devotees like parrot. Just as a parrot can recite to its master and others whatever is taught, who can nicely repeat the topics he has heard from the scriptures. So there are people who are like parrot. Parrot, what does it do? It hears and repeats it. So there are people who just hear it very absorbingly and they recite it like a parrot. They glorify it. So those are like parrot listeners. And fish. Just as a fish is situated in the ocean of, just like for example, if a fish is situated in an ocean of condensed milk, the milk ocean, Shir Sagara. So supposedly that the fish is situated in the ocean of the condensed milk, quietly drinks milk without blinking its eyes. So one who quietly hears Srimad Bhagavatam while relishing the topics and without even blinking his eyes. The Bhagavatam has to be heard very attentively. So such kind of listeners who doesn't even blink their eyes, but they simply drink the nectar of Krishna Katha, are compared to fish-like listeners. Then there are inferior listeners. Please forgive me, but this is very important actually. So now, just why ask forgiveness? Because you will know. There are, just as a cry of the wolf frightens the deer, which is attracted by the sweet sound of the flute. There are wolves. When someone is playing the flute, the deer gets attracted. But there are wolves who frightens the deer. Similarly, so the foolish listener whose loud noises create pains to the devotees who are engaged in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam are called as the wolf listeners. They don't listen attentively, but they create disturbance for others. Those who are listening, they create disturbance for them as well. So those are called as wolf listeners. Then there comes Bhurunda bird. Just as the Bhurunda bird that lives in the Himalayas, what does it do? It tells others whatever instruction it has heard without practicing itself. Bhurunda is like that. He will give big pravachan. So, though one who teaches others but does not follow himself is like Bhurunda. Bhurunda bird, it stays in the Himalayas, very famous. Bull. So, just as a bull does not distinguish between eating sweet grapes and pungent oil cakes, stool. So the blind person who listens to everything but has no intelligence to discriminate what is good and what is bad is called a bull type listeners. He listens to everything. He will go everywhere. He'll also listen to Hare Krishnas. He'll also listen to other cults. He will also listen to different people. And so such kind of listeners are called a bull kind of listener. They listen to everyone. Then camel. Just as a camel rejects the sweet mango leaves and chews instead the bitter neem leaves, so one who rejects the sweet narration of the Lord and hears instead the mundane topics is like a camel listener. People like to hear movies. They like to watch movies. They want to go in marriages and dance. People want to celebrate. So they don't know. They don't know that that associating with mundane will spoil mundane people. Associating with mundane people will spoil our consciousness, and it will take us away from Krishna consciousness. So you should understand that there are 4 kinds of services to Srimad Bhagavatam, dear devotees. Very important to know. Satvik Bhagavat Seva, Rajasik Bhagavat Seva, Tamasik Bhagavat Seva, and Nirgun Bhagavat Seva. Since the topic has come up, so I am discussing. I know I have less time with me because I am going to summarize very quickly the second canto. So one should know, because there are 4 kinds of services. 4 kinds of service. Satvik Bhagavat Seva. There is something called as Rajasik Bhagavat Seva. There is called as Tamasik Bhagavat Seva and Nirguna Bhagavat Seva. So service which is peacefully performed over a month or 2 while relishing the topics and thus increasing one's ecstasy is called Satvik Bhagavat Seva. 1 month dedicatedly, if you are hearing or you are reading, taking a vow of reading Srimad Bhagavatam and doing that, it is called as Satvik Bhagavat Seva. Then enthusiastic service which is joyfully performed in 7 days with various types of, there are the 7 days, there are people there is also a methodology explained by 4 Kumaras that one can do Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days as well. So one who enthusiastically renders service to Bhagavatam and performs the 7 days, So with a lot of worship, and there are so many rituals also are mentioned in how to do that. So if one follows everything, that is called as Rajasic Bhagavad Seva. But Shukdev Goswami Maharaj Parikshit does not come under Rajasic Bhagavad Seva, it comes under Nirgun Bhagavad Seva. Do not compare the 7-day process of hearing Maharaj Parikshit's hearing Srimad Bhagavatam as Rajasic Bhagavad Seva. Then come Tamasic Bhagavad Seva. Service which continues for 1 year, which is performed lazily yet faithfully, and gives happiness, in which both remembrance of the pastimes of the Lord is also there, and forgetfulness of the pastimes of the Lord is also there. Such is called as Tamasic Bhagavad Seva. And then service in which there is no consideration of time factor but continues on with love and devotion is called Nirguna Bhagavad Seva. Simply out of love. Srimad Bhagavatam has to be heard out of love, for attaining love of God. Srimad Bhagavatam can grant everything, can fulfill all our desires. Even if the desires are there in our heart, we are not expressing also. But if you are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, all those desires in our heart will be fulfilled. I promise this in front of Narasimhadev. All the desires will be fulfilled. And when the desires will be fulfilled, Lord will tell you, hey, you desired this, I am giving you today this. So one should hear Srimad Bhagavatam in any place or in any ways one desires, whether Satvik, Rajasic, Tamasic, Nirgun, but one should hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only wealth of those who are completely devoid of material desires and ready and greedy to relish hearing and chanting of the Krishna's name and fame and pastimes. For those who are, what is our real wealth, for devotees? The real wealth is Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the real wealth. Srimad Bhagavatam is the medicine to cure the material disease of those who are indifferent to the miseries of material existence and desire liberation. And therefore, everyone should carefully serve Srimad Bhagavatam. If you want liberation in this very birth, if you don't want to again enter into the womb of a mother, if you have these desires, then take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then, anyways, there are so many glories of Srimad Bhagavatam like that. It can go on and on. I can simply glorify Srimad Bhagavatam for only 7 days. We can simply glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. That is how the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam is. Unlimited glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So coming to Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj's questions. So, Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring about so many different subject matters. And then Shukdev Goswami says that, referring to Lord Brahma, is saying that Lord Brahma regained his lost consciousness by meditating on the Virat Rupa, and he was able to rebuild the creation. So, the Lord resides in one's heart. So Lord gives all the strength. Transcendental knowledge is revealed in the heart. One should know this. And it is revealed if a sadhu is pleased or Krishna is pleased. Only by their mercy one can understand Srimad Bhagavatam. One cannot understand Srimad Bhagavatam just like that. Our entrance into the Bhagavatam, our entrance into the subject matter of Bhagavatam is not an ordinary thing. We might read Bhagavatam on everyday basis, but entrance into that particular subject, entrance into the subject matter of Bhagavatam, it is not possible without the mercy of a sadhu. Because who can understand Bhagavad Dharma Tattva? That is very important. Bhagavad Dharma Tattva can be only understood by people who are non-envious. Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. One who is not envious can understand Srimad Bhagavatam. We are worshipping the Lord, but then criticizing the devotees. That doesn't work. If we want to enter into Srimad Bhagavatam, then we have to be non-envious of others. We have to truly beg for mercy of Srimad Bhagavatam. And we should pray sincerely to Srimad Bhagavatam, please shower your causeless mercy on us. So, the Lord in our heart is how long? How big is he? What is the size of his? 8 inches. 8 inches, and he has 4 hands, and he carries lotus, Sudarshan Chakra, a council, and a club. And his mouth expresses, he is always happy. You'll never see Lord unhappy. Because even the Lord wants to be unhappy, he cannot be unhappy. because such is the nature of the Lord. The Lord is always happy. And now I'm describing the form of the Lord in the heart. His eyes are spread like the petals of the lotus. His garments are yellowish like the saffron of a kadamba flower. And he is bedecked with valuable jewels. His ornaments are made of gold. There are a lot of jewels he is wearing. And how should one take darshan of the Lord? If you are taking darshan of the Lord, Srimad Bhagavatam says, then one should first start from the lotus feet of the Lord. Then one should go to the thighs of the Lord, gradually abdomen, gradually his chest, and gradually his lotus face. And then like that, that's how progressively one has to take darshan of the Lord. And one should try to fix his mind this way by every day constantly taking darshan of the Lord in this way. So that is a process of meditation given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So even in the time of death, one should not be perplexed and should think of the lotus feet of the Lord. Whenever we are offering pranams, whenever we come and offer pranams to the Lord, it should be we should be conscious of what we are doing. We should recite some prayers to the Lord. There should be some prayers that every day we should recite to the Lord. And gradually, while reciting the prayers, you can express your own heartfelt desires. So if you want something from the Lord, there is a way of doing it. First, glorify the Lord. And then gradually you can put forward your request to the Lord. And that's how. If you want something from me, if you directly ask me, we don't have a relationship, how will it work? So you have to first glorify someone, make relationship with him. And when the relationship is there, then you, my dear Lord, please can you help me with this? The best is that there should be no desire. But if you have desire, this is the way to put forward your desires in front of the Lord. So, then further Shukdev Goswami talks about a person who has broader intelligence must by all means worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the transcendental knowledge in relation to Supreme Lord is knowledge resulting in the complete suspension of the waves and the whirlpools of material modes. So when one hears this transcendental knowledge about Krishna, what happens in our heart? What happens in our life? If you are constantly hearing this subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, you will naturally feel attracted. Now, okay, let me put it this way. If you have no taste for chanting, what do? We don't chant, right? Or we chant more and more and more. We chant more and more and more. If you don't have taste for hearing, what shall we do? Should we give up hearing? No, we should hear more and more and more. So here, that is the way of completely suspending the whirlpools of the material modes. We have to get done with this material world. Unless and until we are attached to our material world, within our heart, within our life, there is some attachment is there, things will not go as fast as it should go. But as soon as one completely surrenders to the Lord, giving up, there is one thing that we might have desires for material enjoyment, but at the same time, we are desiring actually to become a pure and loyal devotee of the Lord. So that prayers on everyday basis are very, very important. We should pray every day to the Lord that please help me develop attachment to your lotus feet. Please help me develop eagerness, help me develop a greed to hear your messages. So that way, gradually our attachment to the Lord's messages will increase. And that is what the Lord in the heart He does. He takes a note of every small activity we are doing. If you are sincerely praying to the Lord takes a note of it. If you want sadhu sangha, sadhus are always on the planet. If you want sadhu sangha, then the Lord will make arrangement for us to come in the association of such sadhus. Either the sadhu will come to us or we will go to that sadhu. So whatever help is needed for attaining perfection, the Lord is willing to provide us everything. There is nothing the Lord is not willing to provide. Dhruv Maharaj, a 6 years old boy, he was on his way all alone to go to the forest and attend Lord Narayana. Who was sent? Who sent Narad Muni? The Supreme Lord sent Narad Muni. Because Lord knows what is the desire in our heart, and accordingly He reciprocates and He sends Narad Muni in our life. So we will also get such an arrangement by the Lord if we also desire the same. So Maharaj Parikshit, so after hearing Shukdev Goswami speak thus, Maharaj Parikshit is asking that how does Lord by His personal energy create these phenomenal universes which are inconceivable even to the great demigods? This universal structure which is been created, it is amazing even to the demigods, even they cannot understand. Even Shukdev Goswami says, even I cannot understand. In the 5th canto of Bhagavatam, when he discussed the cosmology, he says that I am only repeating what I have heard, but this subject matter is even inconceivable for me also. That is what Shukdev Goswami says. And it further says that how does a Lord using His personal energy maintain and again wind down the phenomenal world? How does He create, how He maintains, and how does He destruct this world? Please clear my doubt, O Shukdev Goswami, because you alone can disseminate all my doubts. And then further this conversation goes further, where Shukdev Goswami gives references to Brahmaji's and Narad Muni's conversation. So Brahma and Narada, they had a similar discussion where Narad Muni asked Brahmaji that, my dear father, what is the symptoms of the manifest world? What is its background? How it was created? Please tell me. I want to know how this world was created, because I have to tell people how it is conserved and under whose control everything is done. Is it you or someone else? And under whose protection are you standing? What is your position? What is your authority? And under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all these living entities and material elements by your personal energy, or there is someone else? So Brahmaji hears all this question from Narad Muni, and then he explains that the world thinks it's me, Baba, but actually it's not me. It's the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. He's the causes of all the causes. So once Brahmaji, when he was sprouted from the he took birth. Brahmaji took birth from the lotus stem. So Brahma saw only darkness all over the place. There was no light, nothing. And Brahma was thinking what to do now. Imagine you are in a place. Just thrown. And you don't know what to do. Everywhere is darkness. And you are hearing big sound waves. So Brahmaji was hearing big sound waves from the Karan Sagar, causal ocean. And then Brahmaji also heard tapa, perform tap. So Brahmaji, first what did he do, He tried to find the root. So he entered that stem, the lotus stem, and he tried to go inside. For thousands of years he was just going down, and he found nothing is happening. So he climbed up back. He said, at least let me go, and there should be a place where I should go and sit. There is no place to sit here. So let me go back and peacefully sit there. So Brahmaji goes back, and then the Lord indicates, please do tapa. So Brahmaji does tapasya, performs devotional service for so many thousands of years. And then the Lord, Supreme Lord, revealed to him. What did he reveal? His own abode. Supreme Lord manifested Himself in front of him. The Lord revealed His own abode. And the Lord also shook His hand to Brahmaji. He said that I am your friend. And we will both work together for this material creation. So don't worry, you are not alone in this journey. So that's how the Lord was so kind. So Brahmaji told Narad Muni about all these things, about how Krishna reciprocated with him. And then Brahmaji described about how the sky, air, water, earth were created, and how each of them are having one extra quality like touch, sound, shape, taste and odor. And then from the mode of goodness, the mind is generated, and from also the 10 demigods who control the bodily movements. And by transformation of the modes of passion, the sense of organs were created. And after all the organs were created and they assembled by the force of energy, the universe came into being by accepting both the primary and the secondary cause of creation. And thus all the universes remained thousands of eons within water. And the Lord entered into each one of them. How Karan Sagar, from the Karnadaksha Vishnu, the unlimited universes are come out, and then the Lord enters into each one as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So all this is explained, and then further how the living entities are created, and the Lord enters as Shuradaksha Vishnu in the heart of every living entity. So all these things are explained by Brahmaji. And then Brahmaji explains about various incarnations of the Lord. After he explains the Purusha Sukta, he explains how the various incarnations are there. The Lord takes various incarnations for helping the living entities. So we should know that what is the purpose of the Lord. He takes the boar incarnation. He comes as Kapila Dev. He comes as Dattatreya. He comes as 4 Kumaras. He comes as Narayan Rishi. He comes as Lord Hari. He comes as Prithu Maharaj. He comes as Rishabh Dev. He comes as Hayagriva. He comes as fish incarnation, tortoise, and so many different incarnations. What is the purpose? Why does the Lord come? The Lord comes to help us understand what is the real goal of our life. I'll put it in a very simple way, that the children, they want something from the parents, so they cry for it. They hanker for it. They go and disturb the parents. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this toy, I want this toy. So the parents, what they do, they go and buy the toy and give it to them. And the child enjoys with that. Keeps on enjoying. He wants another toy. The parents give another toy. As he grows up, the toys desire to become bigger and bigger. Then he wants laptop, then he wants this and that. These are also toys. So the parents give everything. So Krishna is also like that. When we desire to enjoy this material world, we wanted to enjoy the world, so this world was created for us, for all living entities, so that we can enjoy. So all the facilities and enjoyments are there in this material world. All the arrangements are there for enjoying. But the parents, they also give us instructions. What is good and what is not good for us, right? They will tell us that you're using laptop, you're using internet, but be careful of what you watch and everything. So they give us instructions. They give the instructions to their kids. Similarly, the Lord also tries to give us instructions. How does He give the instructions? Does He interfere in our independence? No, He just gives instructions to us. He comes in various avatars. He comes again and again, millennium after millennium, Lila avatars, Guna avatars, Purusha avatars, so many avatars Krishna takes. For what purpose? To instruct all the living entities that I am the goal, I am the purpose of your life. He performs pastimes, tries to attract all the living entities towards Him and takes them to the abode. So this process goes on. What is the purpose? The purpose is to help devotees understand, help the living entities understand their true nature. Jivera Swarupai Krishna Nitya Das. Our nature, our Jaiva Dharma. What is our Jaiva Dharma? There is something called as Naimittika Dharma, and then there is something called as Jaiva Dharma. Naimittika Dharma means temporary Dharma. Temporary Dharma means which are associated with this body, our relationships, this and that. These are all bodily relationships. Temporary things are Naimittika Dharma. But Jaiva Dharma is the transcendental Dharma which is eternal. And that is, we are servants of the Lord. So, then there are so many incarnations like Hansa Avatar, Dhanvantari Avatar, Parshuram Avatar, Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction also is given by Brahmaji, and Kalki Avatar. So all these different incarnations were mentioned. And then furthermore, questions also were, Maharaj Parikshit further inquires about so many different subject matters also, that how was Brahmaji able to see the form of the Lord even though he was born from the lotus flower of the navel. So how can he be maintaining, creating and annihilating the material world, remains untouched by his own external energy. So there are so many questions which Parikshit Maharaj put forward. I'm not getting into a lot of details. And then further, Shukdev Goswami, he cites the Lord's version of, and he explains that how Brahmaji, in detail about how everything was revealed to Brahmaji. And then further in the last chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 10 divisions of the statements, like Srimad Bhagavatam is a solution for all the questions. Srimad Bhagavatam is actually the solution for all the problems of this material world. Whatever questions we have, whatever questions we don't have, we'll find solution to everything in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is true. Why? Because it covers the subject matter of the creation of the universe. It explains the sub-creation. It explains the planetary systems, the different planetary systems, how they are established in this world, and then how the Lord protects His devotees. There are so many devotees the Lord protects, because Lord is eager to protect His devotees. Draupadi was protected, and Gajendra was protected. There are so many devotees who were protected by the Lord. And then the creative impetus, and then the change of Manus. There are, in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus, and they are fixed. Their names are fixed. The position changes, but 14 Manus are fixed. Their names are fixed in the and their time frame is also fixed. So all these things we need to know. That in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus, and in the one Manu's life is 71.5 Chaturyugi. So like that, there are 14 Manus, and that is one day of Brahma. Similar is the one night of Brahmaji. That far, that same duration. And we should know that how this the science of God, the changes of Manu, how the Manus changes, who is going to be the next Manu is already decided. You don't have to worry for everything. Just like, in a ministry, let's say in a government, the Prime Minister decides who is going to be the ministers. And then there is already a planning done that, let's say, for example, for a few years he's going to be minister, few years he's going to be minister, few years he's going to be minister. So if the Prime Minister, he decides, or the President decides, similarly, the Lord has already arranged that in the one day of Brahma, who all are going to be Manus, who are going to be Indras, who are going to be different demigods. So all these are positions. The demigods are positioned. In every Manu, there are different Indra. There are different Agni Dev, there are different Varuna Dev, there are different living entities. When they become qualified to achieve that position, they are promoted to that position. So like that, this whole arrangement is been done. So everything is fixed. We don't have to worry. And if there is no one in that particular position, the Lord Himself comes down and takes that position. If, for example, there is no one who is qualified to become Indra, who will become Indra? The Supreme Lord will become Indra. If there is no one to become Agni Dev, fire god, who will come and become fire god? The Lord will come Himself and become a fire god if there is no one qualified. That's how it's a full-proof system is there. And then it explains about the science of God, it explains about returning home back to God, it explains about liberation, it explains about the samam bonam. So to isolate the transcendence of the samam bonam, the symptoms of the rest are interfered by the Vedas or direct explanation or by the summary explanation by the sages. So these are the 10 subject matters which are explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and throughout all the cantos, all these 10 subject matter will be discussed in different cantos. So this is the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
If we start on time, it will be more easier for me.
Yes.
Because I have a certain fixed schedule that I have to complete a certain amount of chapters per day.
Yes, I will write this in the group because now there are not so many devotees attendant. So Prabhu made a request before when he came at 5:35. He was here already, and nobody was here to carry the Vyasa-san or that he could start singing. So those who are serious about attending,
that should discuss internally, not on the mic.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that that I have 1 hour with me in the evening, and I have certain chapters to cover in a day. So please give me that whole slot. Also in the morning, if I'm given the time to start at 7:45, Kirtan should end at 7:44 at least, and I can start at 7:45 sharp. Because that gives me more time. Because every last 2 days also I'm seeing that I started at 7:50, and then what happens is I have to rush towards the subject matter. So I don't want to do that. Okay. No, it's okay. I don't want to disturb the existing time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, if I may,
Yes.
I don't understand how did this whole Bhagavatam, the 18,000 verses, and please correct me if I'm wrong, come out of the Chatur Shloki from 4 verses.
Yeah, just in the same way, just like a big tree comes out from a small seed. Okay. One might say when the seed is there, you plant that seed, and there is this whole tree comes out from that small little seed. Right. The Chaturshloki Bhagavat was revealed by Narad Muni to Vyasadev. So Vyasadev meditated on that subject matter on those 4 verses, and from that everything was revealed. The whole Bhagavatam was revealed. He spoke. That means we need to understand that Srimad Bhagavatam exists before Shukdev Goswami also. There is a Bhagavatam there is a Bhagavatam which Lord Brahma takes shelter of. Whatever Krishna told Brahmaji, that's Bhagavatam. Once, when Parikshit Maharaj got delivered from the cycle of birth and death, when Takshak was supposed to come and beat Parikshit Maharaj, and Parikshit Maharaj, before Takshak came, Parikshit Maharaj went to the abode of the Lord. So Brahmaji was puzzled. So Brahmaji took out a scale and he put Bhagavatam on one end, and he put so many other things on the other scriptures on other, and he tried to weigh, and the Srimad Bhagavatam was heavier. So that Brahmaji did this experiment in front of so many others. So, yeah.
Is it true that in the heavenly planets the Bhagavatam has more verses, 100,000 verses or something?
No. Srimad Bhagavatam Srimad Bhagavatam is, I told you, whatever comes out from the lips of pure devotees is Srimad Bhagavatam. So whatever Uddhava has spoken to the gopis, that's all Bhagavatam. Okay. So Bhagavatam exists before also. Bhagavatam means what? Krishna's name, Krishna's fame, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's different incarnations, its leelas and everything. So that is all Srimad Bhagavatam. And that existed before as well, right? It came in the form of a book after Vedavyas started writing it, but it existed before as well. It is there with Brahma, it is there with Lord Shiva, it is there with Lord Vishnu also. Bhagavatam is there with all 3 of them as well. And they also read Srimad Bhagavatam, they also relish Srimad Bhagavatam. They get strength, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they get strength from Bhagavatam.
Is it bona fide to say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also part of the Bhagavatam, or he couldn't, because he lived the Bhagavatam, we say?
Yeah. Chaitanya Charit also is a Bhagavatam, is also Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita is also Srimad Bhagavatam. Because it describes about Lord Krishna's name, fame, pastimes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name, fame, pastimes are described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's also Bhagavatam. Anything which is related to Lord Krishna, his name, his fame, his incarnations is Bhagavatam. Or anything which is coming out from the lips of a pure devotee is Bhagavatam. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.